Going on, people? Welcome to Conversation with Haych, the How-To series. A series where we talk to some amazing people doing some amazing things, and we give you, the viewers, advice and encouragement on particular topics. The topic today is how to keep going in life. Full stop. That's the topic. That's it. And we ain't got guests with us today. It's just me, just kind of giving you some advice and encouragement from my life experience, what I've been through. A little bit about me. I'm H. Some people call me DJ H. Some people call me Big H. But I'm H. DJ, accountant, more importantly, husband, father, but most importantly, child of God, love Jesus, and all of that. So a little bit about me, and when I first kind of realized, okay, life just keeps going on, or I just got to keep going in life, essentially, is that in my teenage years, I was, quite fit, love music, love sport, love every sport under the sun, was quite good at the sports and stuff like that. And then I hit like 17, 18. And obviously you start to think about university and all these kind of things and, all them kind of things. So in my head, I'm thinking about university and I'm hearing all these stories from people who are older than me. And I'm like, yo, university sounds like a madness. So obviously I was going to church at that time. But I went like a Christian. I weren't dedicated like that. I was just going because my parents, told me I need to go in that. I liked it. Music was fire in that, but you know what I'm saying? But when April of that year, I was like, okay, I need to get baptized. So I got baptized April of that year. I had this dream as well, which was like preceded me getting baptized as well, because it was like, okay, you had this dream. Okay, now you definitely need to get baptized. So I got baptized April that year. I was like feeling cool. Yeah, I'm protected. Because when I go uni, there's going to be a madness I ain't seen before. Because in my head, I'm like, I ain't seen some of the things I'm going to see at uni, at college, school, sixth form. I ain't seen it. I think I've seen everything, but I ain't seen it. Because now it's not just people from my area, from my ends, or people that look like me. It's going to be people who don't necessarily look like me, who don't necessarily act like me, who don't necessarily have the cleanliness and the food hygiene that I have, and also drink a lot more than I do. And they're going to be on a madness. And I'm going to be living with these people. Not like I see them once in a while. I'm going to be living with these people. So in my head, I was like, yo, I need that God protection. Just be around me. Send your angels. Everyone send your angels. So I don't go Oceania and that or Liquid and Envy and all them kind of things. Or Republic. Shout out to my Leicester crew. So I got baptized in April. And then 4 months later, I was in hospital, like out of the blue, like weren't really feeling well, was sweating. And obviously I told you I was a fit guy. Sweating, stomach was like rock hard in terms to touch. Like your stomach is like quite soft in it. But I touched my stomach, like the doctor touched my stomach. It's like, yo, your stomach's not moving, like it's rock hard. It's like I'm touching like a brick wall. So I said, yo, this don't make no sense. So then probably about 20 minutes later, they're like, yo, yeah, we're gonna need to do emergency surgery. Cool. Yeah, we need to do it now. Like whatever's going on and causing your stomach to do that, like we need to sort you out. Did the emergency surgery. I'm in the bed, just about to move my toes after this surgery. And then they come in and the doctor's like, yeah. So we've taken 1.5 liters of poison out of the bottom of your stomach. So I'm like, 1.5 liters of poison? Where did this come from? Like, I ain't done nothing mad. So, and they're like, we don't know where it's come from. But what we do know is we can grow bacteria off the back of it. What? I'm a young black man from Handsworth. You understand what I'm saying? Like, how has this happened? So they was like, yeah, we don't know, but we're going to take you through like rehabilitation and all these kind of things. You're going to learn to walk again, all of that. Boom, boom, bam, bam, bam. So at this point, I said to God, yo, if this is me done and you want to just take me out and just, say, hey, then your life's over and all that, cool. I don't feel like I had a fair shot at it. I'm 18, but whatever, take me out. But if it's not, yo, let me just use this as inspiration to just, keep maneuvering in life and keep trying to do the best that I can do and living my purpose, essentially. So yeah, I had to learn how to walk again, lost all this weight, all these kind of things happen. But the reason why I tell you this story is because regardless of how bad I was, how good I was, like things happened to me that I had no control over. And regardless how I came out of that situation, life in and around me just kept going. So like university was just going to happen regardless of whether I was 100% fit or not. So then it was like in my head, I was just confused because something big had happened to me. And I just thought, yo, stop everything. When something happens to you, you're just like, nah, this is ridiculous. Like everything just feels like it stops. But like life just keeps going for everyone else. It just keeps going. And you're just like, nah, but these things happen to me. Like, I need time to take this in. And life's just like, nah, like bills due next week, or, how you going to eat? Like, you're hungry now. So you need to go get food. And all these kind of things is going through my head. So I tell you that story because it was like, I've realized at that point, regardless of what happened to me, life just kept going. Like, it just keeps going. And in that moment, I felt really emotional. I felt really like, let down, not even just by God, but just let down that things weren't just really happening for me. Because even after that point, when you think, you know what, I should get everything that I prayed for because this big thing happened to me, that didn't happen. I didn't even go to the uni that I wanted to go to initially. So then it's like, okay, how do I keep maneuvering through life? How do I keep going in this life when I'm now learning, or I've learned that big things and small things will happen to me that are going to affect my mood, my feeling, going to affect how I maneuver, like just in my day to day. How do I keep going if like these things happen and it feels like it's not affecting anyone else or not affecting the world? Like, you could be working in a job for a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 25 years, and then you leave that job, and then you get a £50 Amazon voucher, you get your Costa Coffee voucher because people know like you like your latte and all them kind of things. And then you get a big card that everyone sign, and you might get a couple of scented candles, all of them thing there. But essentially 2 to 4 weeks later, they're replacing you. Why? Because life just keeps going on. And it's crazy, like when you realize and you deep all of that, as much as you might have meant at that particular time, or this thing may have meant at that particular time, or you may have meant at that particular time, move along slowly a couple of days, a week, or whatever it might be, an hour, life is just going. So here's some of the things I learned. And when I've spoken to people about this, here's some of the things that they would say, in terms of advice and encouragement. One of the things that I would say is just take those little steps each day in terms of keeping going through life. Things happen every day. And sometimes you have to deal with those things in those moments. And those moments don't just last for what we consider like a few seconds, a few minutes. Sometimes those moments are days, weeks, months. But we have to take those little steps in terms of whether it's a grieving process, whether it's a loss of, something materialistic like a job or something like that, or whatever it might be, where we have to go through those stages of understanding what's happening. Take those little steps. That's all we can do. And it might be taking those little steps to improve how we feel in those moments. It might be taking those little steps to produce what we said we were going to produce. It might be taking those little steps that, with all of us being affected by the pandemic and all these kind of things, to going back to who we were prior to the pandemic, or just being better than what we were. But it's those little steps, because when I had that surgery when I was 18, I had to learn how to walk again, and literally I had to take little steps. Then once I took those little steps, I could take, strides. Once I could take those strides, I could try running again. And once I was running again, I could then, go play football. Once I was playing football and all them kind of things, I can go gym, or I can walk for long distances, or I can climb out. So literally, the little steps that I initially took eventually helped me to do the bigger things that I wanted to do. But unless I take those little steps, that bigger thing doesn't happen. I can't jump from this to that without preparation, without going through the process. So I say take those little steps as my first piece of advice. My second piece of advice would be to speak to those who love you and who you love. When I say that, I don't mean those people who you may talk to once in a while and it's cool and it's whatever to catch up, or at an event or a concert or party or whatever it might be. I'm not talking about those people. I'm also not talking about those people who there may be even friends, family, or whatever it might be. But when you talk to them, there's like a negative feeling, or it's like a weight on your shoulders after you've spoken to them, and you feel drained in a negative way. After having conversations with them or interactions with them. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the people who truly love you, who truly know you, who truly care for you, and you know that. And sometimes they're going to give you advice and encouragement, or say things that you're just not going to agree with, but it's coming from a place of love. That's the hope anyway. Because if this person loves you, they might say things and it might be said in a way that they didn't mean it to come across that way, but it might be meant out of love. But speak to those people, confide in those people, let those people know what you're going through. Speak to those people regularly. Be honest and open and transparent about where you are in this journey we call life. Because that's the only way you can kind of keep going, especially with those people around you, when they know where you're at. The more you distance yourself from the people that love you, the more it's going to feel like you're on this journey by yourself. But then the more it's going to be that these people just don't know where you're at. They might check on you and you might just be like, yeah, I'm cool. But realistically, a madness is going on wherever you're at, whatever it might be. So speak to those people, those who love you and those who care for you, because they'll say the things and they'll have the conversations with you, or they'll see the things or see how you maneuver and see, oh, hold on, this is a bit different in a negative way. What's going on? Let's try and talk this through. Let's try and sort that out. So that would be my second piece of advice. Talk to those people who love you and care for you. Third piece of advice is a piece of advice and encouragement a lot of people have told me has helped them on their journey or helped them to keep going in life, which is seek professional counseling. And this is not like, if you go to church, your pastor or whatever, and this is not like just talking to your parents or your aunties or your older cousins or whoever it might be. This is talking to people who are going to give you professional counseling, so they can give you professional help, because those people will be able to tap into certain things and certain roots and causes of how we maneuver in life that we can't even unpick or unpack by ourselves. And we're just sitting in this thing and it's making us maneuver a certain way. And it's not allowing us to get the best out of ourselves. These people are trained to do this, to have these conversations with us. And practically everyone I speak to that's had it is like, yo, it's changed my life. It's the best thing that I've had, because now I can see where patterns were starting to emerge. Now I can see why I did what I did. Now I can see why I didn't do what I was meant to do. Now I can see why, I may have been in a depressive state, or may have been in a certain state of mind where it was like it was holding me back from doing stuff and holding me back from, going and keeping going in life. So I would advise that people I know would advise that just to keep going in life is to seek professional help, professional counseling. And my last piece of advice that I'd give is to seek God, speak to God. Now, I'm not saying off the back of this, like your relationship with God is just going to madly change or whatever. But what I'm saying is, I can give you what worked for me. And what worked for me was talking to God, talking to the being that knew everything, who knew my past, who knew my current, who knew my present, who knew my future. That helped me. And that helped me to see, okay, I might not fully understand that, but it's not a plan to harm me. It's a plan for my good. You understand what I'm saying? And everyone who watches ain't going to be Christian. You understand what I'm saying? You ain't even going to be religious in any shape or form. But if something worked for me, if something pulled me out of something, if I felt this kind of uplifting and those types of things, and the good blessings that came onto me in terms of and positive things, and not even just that, but if something pulled me out of like the surgery, the poison being in my stomach, why would I not say, yo, let me pattern you up with what helped me? You understand what I'm saying? That don't make no sense. So I would advise to have conversation with God. Religious or not, have conversation with God. It was important for me, because I know without God, I ain't going to be here. So those are my pieces of advice. Take the little steps. Speak to those who love you and care for you and about you. Seek professional care and professional help where you can. Professional counseling. And seek God. Speak to God. Those are the things that are going to help us to get through life and to keep going through life. But the thing that you can control, whether you have the money for professional counseling, whether you have the relationship with God, whether you even really want to speak to those people who love or care for you, the thing that you can do, and one thing that I want you to remember and start with from this video, is take those little steps. Those are things you can control. Whether it's couldn't get up this morning, get up today. Simple, small step. All right, I got up today. Cool. Now to everyone else, there's going to be certain small steps that you take that aren't going to look like they're making any major difference to anyone else. Like, all you did was that, and that might be normal to them. But for you, it's a big thing. But it's a small step in the grand scheme of things of where you could be, or where you should be, or where your purpose would want you to be. So if you don't remember anything else from this video, take those small steps first, because you can control that. And that's how you start to grow and keep going through life. And every time something happens that you may not feel prepared for, you would have gone through all these things or taken these steps over here, which then means, okay, I can have, there's a certain level of preparation within me, which means I can move forward in life. So that's what I would say. Hopefully this episode has helped you. I know you don't see anyone else, it's just me, but I hope this has blessed someone, it's encouraged someone, given someone some piece of advice that they can take on to help you keep going in life, because life is hard, yo. Pandemic or no pandemic, life was hard before. Life is even harder now. But yeah, I hope this encourages you. Share it with your people then. Let them know, hopefully. No episode, little short thing, you know? Little short thing, you know? So, yeah. My name's Haych. And this has been Conversation with Haych, the How To series. The episode has been how to keep going in life. Make sure you check out some of our other, content and stuff like that. We got a lot more of this coming for you very, 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 very soon. See you later.